Hey, folks, today's sponsor is AdamandEve.com. How do you like that, huh? Get 50% off any item along with free gifts and shipping when you enter WTF at the checkout. That's AdamandEve.com.
Lock the gate!
Are we doing this? Really? Wait for it. Are we doing this? Wait for it. How? What the fuck?
WTF.
And it's also, what the fuck? What's wrong with me? It's time for WTF. What the fuck?
With Marc Maron.
All right, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers? What the fuck buddies? What the fucking ears? What the fucksicans? What the fuckamollins? What the fuckaricans? What the fuckanucks? What the fuck you pie Wall Streeters? That was a good one. Someone sent me that one. That was a good one. I am Marc Maron. This is WTF. I'm doing okay. I'm having some sort of sugar coma or something. Something is happening. Let's do some stuff first. I am going to be at the Punchline in San Francisco, November 2nd through 5th. I am going to be at the Neptune Theater on November 25th in Seattle, Washington. Looking forward to that show. They just started selling tickets to my show at the Wilbur Theater in Boston. That's on January. I don't have it in front of me. God damn it. Wilbur Theater, Boston in January. I'll get more specific on that one as time goes on. I don't want to plug the shit out of everything way in advance. But Hannibal Buress is on the show this evening. This evening, it's nighttime for me, but it might not be nighttime for you. It's probably Thursday morning for you. If it is Thursday morning for you, I might want to tell you this. I did a little research. Hannibal Buress, Hannibal Buress, sounds the same either way, is performing at the Atlanta Punchline at Atlanta, Georgia, tomorrow. That would be the 21st and 22nd. I'm doing a little community outreach for my buddy Hannibal. So he'll be there. I'm going to be talking to him in just a second. Let's do some business. Got a big cup of WTF blend, justcoffee.coop right here in front of me. Pow! Wow. Yep, it happened. A lot of people ask me if I'm really drinking Just Coffee. I'm drinking Just Coffee. I drink way too much Just Coffee. I think it might have something to do with what's going on in my body right now, which I'll discuss in a minute. Comedy Central is a sponsor of today's show. Check out the new episode of The Download with guests Neil Brennan and Natasha Leggero. They talk internet addiction with hosts Jordan Rubin and Owen Benjamin. Visit cc.com/thedownload to watch that. I just watched a movie that was sent to me. Now, some of you ask me or you email me about my sponsors, and I'll tell you there are some sponsors that are just fucking great because they send me stuff. And one of those sponsors is IFC. They send me movies, and I just watched this movie. It's called The Cataclysm, stars Steve Little. If you watch Eastbound and Down, you know Steve Little as Danny McBride's sidekick. In this movie, The Cataclysm, he plays this young priest who takes a canoe trip that ultimately you're not sure what the fuck is going on in this movie. Is it a parable? Is there a lesson to be learned? The one thing that I can tell you is Steve Little is acting a lot like Steve Little, like almost mentally challenged, but funny. It's fucking insane, this movie. It is playing in New York City as we speak. It got some good buzz at the Sundance Film Festival and South by Southwest. It will be available nationwide on video on demand starting October 26th from IFC midnight. So check that out. It's, sometimes when I watch small films and I think about what it takes to make a film, and I think like, my God, some guy believed in this so hard, and this is what he gave us. Now I have to reckon with it. It was one of those movies where I'm like, what is going on here? But check it out. It is on video on demand starting October 26th from IFC midnight. The Cataclysm. Yeah. So anyways, I go to the doctor. I know some of you are hanging on hand and nail or tooth and face or whatever the fuck the saying is. Here, you know what this is, though? Let me explain to you what happened today. I'm on this slow carb thing because I got a little heavy. I know a lot of you think, like, you're not heavy, shut the fuck up. But look, if I get 10 pounds higher than what I want to be, then I'm heavy. All right, I like to be under 180. Do you have a problem with that? My weight that I'm supposed to be at for my age or for my height is 175, but I know in my heart that my head is too big to be 175. I'm slightly deformed in that I have a slightly large head, that if I lose too much weight, I look like a fucking bobblehead doll. A Marc Maron bobblehead. That's what I look like, so I don't get that thin, but I was up close to 190, wanted to get below 180. Just below 180, that's all I want. So I got on that slow carb thing, which means you eat the slow carb diet, the 4-hour body or whatever the hell it's called. I'm not reading the book. The book seems crazy to me. I just looked at what you can and can't eat, and I just do it. But you get a cheat day. Now, this is the kind of drug addict I am. My girlfriend Jessica went ahead and for my birthday bought me a fucking ice cream maker. Now, for me, the best thing I can hope, if some of you know my material, is I really can't handle having one of those in the house. The best thing that can happen to that ice cream maker is that eventually it just ends up in the closet, and 6 months go by and we go, oh, fuck, man, we're going to, well, you want to do it, or I don't even know where the instructions are. That's the best thing that can happen to an ice cream maker. But it's just a couple weeks since my birthday, so I got that thing out. I made peanut butter cup ice cream. I made vanilla ice cream with egg yolks, real vanilla peanut butter cup ice cream with peanut butter. So I'm on this fucking diet. I can't eat it. I only get one cheat day. Today was the fucking cheat day. This was it. So I got a tub of the vanilla I made and a tub of the peanut butter cup ice cream I made in there. And today, I got up. I went and met my friend Steve for coffee. We talked about, the big stuff, the big work. We did our weekly conversation. Then I got home, and, I had a muffin at the coffee shop. Slammed a muffin into my face. Because on this diet, you can't eat nothing white. No flour, no dairy, no sugar, a lot of stuff you can't eat, but you can shove a lot of meat and beans and vegetables into your face. But all I've been thinking about is this goddamn tub of ice cream. So then I go to In-N-Out Burger by myself, because I figure if it's a cheat day, let's fucking go to town. I go to In-N-Out Burger, I get myself a double-double, and I bring the wrapper home. You know why I bring the wrapper home? Because there's biblical verses on the wrappers of In-N-Out Burgers. I know that some of you know this. They don't write the whole verse. They just give you the number. So on my wrapper, it says Nahum. I don't even know that book, but I'm not a biblical guy. Nahum 1:7. So, of course, not being a biblical guy, but nonetheless looking for something to do to avoid writing, I say, bring that wrapper home and let's go look up Nahum 1:7. But this wrapper is it's a double-double burger, In-N-Out Burger, quality you can taste on the back. In-N-Out has wrapped its products in paper since 1948. The first In-N-Out opened in 1948. All our burgers are made with fresh beef. That's never frozen. Our buns are made without preservatives, the old-fashioned way from real sponge dough. We hand-leaf our lettuce every day. Our fries are peeled and diced daily from fresh Kennebec potatoes. We've cooked our fries in 100% cholesterol-free oil since 1948. In-N-Out Burger. And then just right there in the little corner of the wrapper, Nahum 1:7. Nahum 1:7. So I go home and I'm like, what the fuck is Nahum 1:7? Why don't they just write it on? Because that would be a little, I don't know, maybe intrusive. Maybe they made a decision. I think it's something to do with the owner wanting to have, he's a biblical guy. Something. I'm not exactly sure what. So I go home and I look up Nahum 1:7. The Lord, this is from the King James Version, the Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. And I'm glad that wasn't on my burger wrapper, because I don't know if I would have been able to really handle the burger, because if you're sitting there thinking about that, how are you going to enjoy the burger? I mean, In-N-Out Burger, the burger is God. You're there for the burger. The burger's there to answer your questions. The burger is there to fill your hole. The chocolate shake is there to fill your hole. The all-you-can-get ketchup and that you can get yourself, and dip those fucking fresh Kennebec potatoes in and shove them into your pie hole, and then try to suck on that chocolate shake that always takes about 15 minutes to get soft enough to drink. That's the God of In-N-Out Burger. That's why you're there to fill a hole. So now I got to come home and get a spiritual lesson. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. What do I need that for now? I already filled my hole. My God hole was filled with In-N-Out Burger, chocolate shake, and french fries, and a tub of fucking peanut butter cup ice cream that I made. This is useless to me now. Useless to me. Had it been on there in its entirety when I was eating the burger, perhaps I would have checked myself. Perhaps I would have held up the hamburger, and I would have held up the wrapper, and on the wrapper it said, the Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. And he knoweth them that trust in him. Holding that on my wrapper and holding the burger in one hand saying, I have a false idol. I have a false idol. There's nothing I can do now other than to shove this false idol into my mouth and then throw the wrapper away. So I got a little Bible lesson. And I was happy with the course of my worship today. I was happy to pray at the shrine of In-N-Out Burger. So onward to the doctor. I told you I was going. I told you there was an omen at hand. I told you about the black cat outside with the fucked up face and the cock eyes that I'd never seen, that I saw as a hellcat, as a messenger of some sort of, coded, cryptic omen, something I didn't understand. Why had this cat come into my life and rippled my reality grid? Why had it done that? I thought it was foreboding of my visit to the urologist. As you know, as a Jew, as a Jewish man, when you visit a urologist, that's a rites of passage. That's when you officially become an old Jewish man. There's the bar mitzvah, and then there's the first urologist appointment. That's the second part. And you get no money for that one. You don't get any money to go to the urologist's office. You go in hopes that everything is going to be okay, and that it doesn't hurt, and that you detach enough not to be humiliated when you're being examined at a urologist. Now, I got to be very honest with you about the conversation I had with you last time, about organs, about kidneys, about my discomfort in talking about these things, is because I don't think about dying. I don't know that I accept the idea of death. I don't know that I'm old. I'd like to think that I'm like, hey man, you die and that's it. Okay? But then I'm sitting here with a burger wrapper that I'm bringing home, and I'm looking up biblical verses. So, something ain't right. I mean, I'm sitting around looking at black cats thinking they're omens, and I'm bringing home burger wrappers. So there's something not grounded, not at ease in my soul. So I got some problems. I'm having some problems in my groinal region. Nothing too bad. Just a little bit of pain in a certain area. And I went to my regular doctor, and she did the thing with the finger and said, I don't know, you might have some prostatitis happens. Take these pills, see what happens. It should go away. I'm like, all right. Doesn't go away. A couple weeks later, a month later, still feel a little not right down there. All right, well, let's send you to the urologist. The urologist. Oh, man, who picks that specialty? Why? I guess it's a good racket. Everybody's got one of them who's a man, and some women, but they usually start men. I don't know if the ones that they attach are officially, I don't know. Look, I don't need to get into sexual politics. I go to this urologist, you never know what you're going to get. This was the most efficient urology practice I'd ever seen. I've been in a lot of doctor's offices because my dad is a defrocked physician, and so I grew up in hospitals. But I'll tell you, when you go to a hospital, when you're sitting in that waiting room with other people and you see old men with their canes moving around, moving out, you see people waiting, it's like, oh my God, this is where we all end up. If you're lucky, this is where you end up. You go to doctors to make sure you stay okay. That's like when you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. I never really thought about it before, but they're always going to doctors because that's what happens when you hit a certain age. You got to go find out whether or not you're okay. Am I okay? Am I okay? Does this thing doesn't feel right? Is it right? Will you look at it? Can you do the thing? Am I all right? So I got to go to the urologist, a nurse, or one of the people. I don't know what she is. A woman who works there was wearing the proper outfit. Right on time. 3 o'clock, my appointment. Bang, 3 o'clock. Maron, yes. Here you go. Here's a cup. Here's the bathroom. Pee in the cup. Leave it there. She picks it up. Not even thinking twice. Very confident. Very efficient. Date of birth. Boom. Labels the cup. See you later, P. All right, go wait in the doctor's office. Doctor comes in. How are you? What's going on? Young guy, beard. And these are those moments where I think about mortality because I think I'm sitting in a doctor's office. I see his diplomas. I see pictures of his children. I see that he's a man that's probably 10 years younger than me. And I'm thinking, what have I fucking done? Where are my goddamn diplomas? Where are my kids? Jesus Christ. I'm just sitting here wondering if my cock is okay. My balls are still working, and that the thing inside of it that makes them both feel good and can generate one of those things in those pictures is functioning properly. So he asked me what the symptoms are, and then I'm in that weird place where I'm like, do I use my language? And I say, yeah, well, there's that area under my balls. So I say that, and he doesn't flinch. He knows I'm a comic, so I figure he's used to that. But you're supposed to use clinical. I mean, are you supposed to say penis and testicles? I can't. Who says testicles? Anyways, whatever the case, here's what I learned. I go in, I get the examination, and I don't want to talk about this, but this just happened. And this guy was so smooth, so quick, I could not believe it. He did an ultrasound. I didn't know they did ultrasounds of prostates and bladders. Did you know that? Congratulations, it's a tumor. No, didn't happen. Looked at my bladder, said, did you go to the bathroom? Yeah, I did, I said. He said, well, there's still some in there. I'm like, okay, great. That's good to know. He said, we're going to need it in a minute. Oh, something to look forward to. But then comes the point where he's like, roll over. It's going to be a little discomfort. And you're laying there naked with the guy, and, it is what it is. I'm not uncomfortable naked, but it's just sort of weird where everything's clinical. I'm like, yeah, kind of right here. It hurts a little, but I think I'm okay. And I don't know. What do you think? All right. So he says, turn over, and I'm going to do this. And the glove goes on. You know what's going to happen. But I didn't even feel it, man. Didn't even feel it going in until it was in. And in that moment, I realized, holy shit. If somebody wants to get something into your asshole, they're going to get it in there. All right, the asshole is not designed to stop things from coming in. It's only designed to keep things from coming out unless you want them to come out. That was very scary to me. I don't know what you're going to do with that information, but I'm just telling you, if somebody wants to put something in your ass, there's very little you can do about it with your ass. So just keep that in mind when you're traveling, whatever. I don't know what the point of that was. So he does this examination, which, kind of, depending on how you're feeling about it, is not a bad feeling. The prostate's fairly sensitive, but mine was a little tender. But he said, look, I don't think there's anything there that I can diagnose. This is just something that it might come and go. You might have to live with. And it was at that moment where I'm like, holy fuck, I've just graduated. I'm an old guy. You mean occasionally I'm going to have prostate discomfort? Occasionally I'm going to be aware that I am the possessor of a prostate? That's the future. But it was a humbler. It was just a humbler. Because there's nothing you can do, man. Shit is going to go bad inside you. That's part of the game. Accept it. Humble yourself. And if you're really feeling lost, you can always take home your In-N-Out burger wrapper. See what you get. So now, I've been thinking about kids. I've been talking about kids, and finally, somebody sent me a letter to with some opinions about it. Outside of like, don't do it. You can't have one. Don't do it. It's a mistake. Kids, subject line. Hey, Mark, I have a 20-month-old kid, and like you, I postponed having it for a long time. I'm only 32, but my girlfriend had wanted it for years. As hard as it can be sometimes, it's truly worth it. The arguments you have with Jessica now will be 10 times worse because it will involve another person forming a 2 versus 1 scenario, usually against the father. And because your sleep pattern is erratic. Anyways, all that eventually settles and it becomes part of your day-to-day. And honestly, you start to feel sorry for anybody who doesn't have a kid. Even if you see George Clooney in a magazine, you'll look at him and think, poor George, he must be so miserable. Even though he's probably having the time of his life. It might all be some chemical trickery the brain conjures to convince you not to throw the baby into the river, but you really feel proud when you have a kid. Think of the greatest joke you ever written. Now imagine that joke taking a life of its own and moving around and making you laugh. That's life, man. Your show is great, Alex. P.S. You don't look 47. Yeah, Alex, tell that to my prostate. Okay, as you know, sometimes my show is sponsored by AdamandEve.com, where you can get 50% off almost any item, 3 free DVDs that you can now choose. You get a free gift, the sensual gift, free shipping, AdamandEve.com, and you put the WTF in the box, and you're golden. But look, I try to personalize these ads, and I know some of you, you think like we've heard this ad, but look, people have, like I have a couple of emails here that are kind of interesting that reflect the needs of people that listen to this show. This is from a comedian, Rob. I don't know if he he wants me to use his last name, but deep in the email he says, you went into an ad for Adam and Eve where you talked about women buying vibrators, and it made me think about my ex-girlfriend who I lived with for a long time, then didn't live with, but was still with her for a while after. When we first moved in together, she brought her first vibrator, sort of the starter model, small but effective. She used it alone and we used it together. Eventually she upgraded to a Rabbit, quote-unquote, Rabbit, which at the time was the most popular vibrator on the market. When she moved out, she took the Rabbit with her, but left the old model behind, and we used it occasionally together when she'd spend the night at my house. After a year or so, it completely ended, and we both moved out. After that, though, whenever I'd let the laundry go too long, that the sock drawer would get sparse, I'd run into this old vibrator and feel so conflicted. I realized I could never use it with another girl. I mean, I had been inside another person. Plus, it would seem weird to any future girl if I just happened to have a vibrator like some weird sex guy. I am so cheap, though, that for literally years, I could not rationalize throwing it away. It still worked. What am I going to do? Throw out a perfectly functional vibrator? That's insane. Not as insane as what I actually did, which was after 2+ years of being broken up, I emailed my ex to ask if she wanted the vibrator back. She did not. It sounds so dumb, but it was a huge moment when I finally threw it out. Seriously, what was I ever going to do with it? And this is a good story because this has happened to me. I actually threw out a vibrator that was laying around. What was I keeping it for? He was just hanging on to those memories, man. Make some new memories, folks. Get yourself a new vibrator. If you're a guy or a gal, I got an email from a dude that says, what do you keep focusing in on the girls with the vibrator? Some of us men like vibrators too. Hey, each to their own. Buy one. Get one. Get a 50% off deal. Get yourself 3 free porno DVDs. Get free gift. Get free shipping. AdamandEve.com with, use WTF in the offer code box and you'll get all this stuff. One other quick one. Adam and Eve, subject line, dude, I used my WTF promo code at adamandeve.com to get a half-price G-Gasm Delight G-Spot vibrator with free shipping and some free lube, too. What a fucking deal. The whole order came to under $10. What the fuck can you buy online for under $10? A G-Spot vibrator, that's what. Now I just need to find someone to use this stuff on. Lovingly lubed up, Ted. There you go. Ted's in Utah. They'll ship to Utah. Fucking Adam and Eve will. Do it. AdamandEve.com. Promo code WTF. On with the show. Turn that air off. We'll try to ride it out as long as we can.
I can do it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where were you brought up?
Chicago.
So, heat in the summer. Is it humid there? I can't remember.
Yeah, it gets horrible in the summer. Like, in the summer, it's deathly horrible. Where people die. That happens.
That's right.
Where it's 7 people died. It got too hot.
Yeah, how'd he die? It's hot.
It just got really hot, and they...
they died. It's not funny. These are usually older people.
That didn't leave. Or they just sat in the heat, thought that they could take it.
Yeah, I have been through, in New York, horrendous humidity. But here, it's dry, so it just sucks it out of you. You don't feel all wet and damp and like there's a weight in the air. You just all of a sudden, you're like, I gotta lay down and die.
Yeah.
Like you're dying in Chicago.
Yeah, you feel it. Or you just stay in until it's late.
Yeah.
And then even late at night, it'll be hot, but it's just a slower kind of...
It's just that humidity, though.
It's disgusting.
It's horrendous, man. You can never escape it. I'm so fucking happy to be away from there. I forgot that Chicago had it. I don't know why it has it. It's not. Well, you got the lake. I don't understand humidity.
I don't understand it either.
I don't think there's any reason for us to try to figure it out. There are people that know how to do that.
Yeah, that's their thing, and we should focus our efforts into what we do well.
In the garage, Hannibal Buress. It came out of nowhere, actually. We had it scheduled, but I apparently had my head in travel. When you travel and you're just like, I just got to get home. I don't fucking know what's going on there. I have to get home. And then it takes you a couple hours. I'm happy to see you. I mean, don't get the wrong idea.
Oh, no problem. You just got back in today?
Literally 2 hours ago.
Oh, wow.
From Canada.
Dang.
Yeah. So now you've been to Canada?
I've been to Canada a couple times.
To Montreal?
To Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver recently.
Now that's a fun place. It's a pretty place.
It's very nice. I was there for Game 7.
Oh, when shit got out of hand?
Yeah.
That was exciting.
Yeah, it was really weird. I watched the game in a bar with a bunch of Canucks fans.
Yeah.
And at first I was neutral, but then after Boston scored the first goal, I just started chanting USA. USA. I just wanted to mess with people for some reason.
Yeah. And how'd that go over?
I mean, I wasn't being too horrible about it. I was with a couple people that I knew then.
But wasn't that, I mean, why were there riots?
I don't know. It was very silly to destroy your own city.
But it was because they lost.
It's because they lost
to
Boston. To Boston. But they threw over, like, you flipping a car, it has British Columbia plates. But
I never understood that in riots in general of any kind. People just destroying their own shit.
Yeah, win or lose, it is silly to destroy your own city. You have to
I guess you just
it.
You just can't control your own excitement or your own contempt.
Yeah.
Something's got to be thrown over.
It's super. Just go home and your life is still pretty much the same whether they win or lose. I mean, if they win, have fun, drink, and yell, but you don't have to break anything.
Well, I mean, people get very invested in it. Like, I was just up there, and there's a type of loyalty to sports. I'm not a sports guy. I didn't grow up giving a shit. I don't give a shit now. But some people hang their entire sense of self and belief system. It's all about the sports and the stats and who wins.
I'm a huge sports guy.
You are?
But I catch myself. I'm from Chicago, so big Bulls fan, and the Bulls got kicked out in again, they were playing the Heat. They lost in Game 5, which was a game they should have won.
Yeah.
And for a few minutes, I was bummed out about it. Then I realized, oh wait, my life is still the same. It doesn't matter.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. So let me just go back and have fun.
So all right. So Chicago now, like with you're a very funny guy.
Thank you.
Enjoy your stand up. And I don't know where the hell you came from, but you're of a different generation than I am, so I have to cop to being somewhat out of touch. But I mean, you took the scene sort of by storm. Like, I mean, there was just, like, it happens. I've seen it happen before in my life, where all of a sudden everyone's mentioning your name, and I'm like, who the fuck is Hannibal Buress? What makes him so fucking good? Now, you started in Chicago, which is now known primarily as an improv town. Were you?
Yeah.
But were you the same generation of, like, Kanane?
Kanane was a little bit ahead of me. Like, but my first or second year, he moved to L.A.
Okay.
So he was already kind of established in Chicago when I was pretty new.
And when you started out, what was the scene like? Were you doing comedy clubs or just alternative rooms?
I was doing wherever, man. I actually started out in my college town, Carbondale, Illinois.
What? I don't even know where that is.
That's Southern Illinois University. Mm-hmm. And I performed there. I went on at open mics there, which was really cool because early on, it's such a small environment and it's kind of encouraging.
Sure. Everyone likes you.
Yeah, I do a set in my college and then, I'm walking to the cafeteria and people say, yeah, you said that one bit. And so I got a rush from it immediately, whereas people were repeating things that I said to me, and I've been doing comedy for 1 month.
Yeah. So you're like, that was it.
It was a supportive environment.
How many kids at that school?
I think about 20,000 at the school.
So it's big.
It's a big school, but small town. It's about half of the population of the town. It's 20,000 in the town, I think, 25,000.
Were you doing gigs at the school or at a club?
I would do. There was a one-nighter at this place called Muggsy's, and then I would open up when they would have comedians come on campus. I would try to get on and open up for them, and I would also I started hosting an open mic, and I was just trying
in town or at the school.
In town, off campus.
All right.
My friend had an open mic in his house, actually.
That's a really small open mic.
Yeah, but it was a music and everything open mic and poetry, so it was all types of people.
At the house?
At this house.
Was it
in
like
his bedroom, and he had turntables set up, and he would DJ.
How big of a room was this?
I mean, it was 15 people or something in there. And it was some people popping their head in the window from outside.
Come on.
And it got too big for his bedroom, so it moved to the living room.
And that's when the show went downhill. Once the room got big,
it got commercial.
Exactly. Was it a group house, like one of them college group houses?
Yeah, he had a couple roommates and stuff, but it was really fun. That was a fun time.
What were you studying over there?
I studied a bunch of things.
What'd you major in?
My first major was business, but then there was this class called finite math that I couldn't handle, so I switched.
How does that look, not handling it? You were just like,
I could have probably focused and got it together, but I decided I didn't need finite math in my life.
And
I knew that even at 18. Yeah, I don't need.
I can't. I can't do math. Period. I mean, it's amazing that I'm 47. I'm like just a dumbass. Like I can't wrap my brain around algebra. Nothing.
Yeah. I think I'm a pretty good math guy, but finite math.
What does that even mean?
I still don't know what it means, and I haven't even pursued it beyond that to see what about it made me struggle.
Now what might happen is you'll get into your 40s or 50s and you'll be like, I'm going to revisit that finite math because I think I'm older now.
Yeah.
Maybe I could handle it. No?
Nah, it'll be trauma.
So what'd you end up getting a degree in?
I didn't get a degree. I left because I was just really focused on doing stand-up. So I really lost focus with classes.
You just bailed?
Kind of bailed. I started missing classes and just really doing stand-up, man.
And what'd your folks think of that?
They were very cool with me wasting thousands of dollars. Nah, they hated it. Wait, you're gonna quit school and then come stay in our house and do open mics?
Which parent was that?
That was probably both of them, but my dad was more vocal about it.
And what kind of background do you come from? What's his story?
He works at Union Pacific, the railroad company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Doing what?
I'm not sure.
He just accept what he says.
It was like he goes to work, he comes back, he paid the bill.
And that was it.
I don't need to know detail. He works. He took care of the family. He works there.
Could you at least travel for free or anything?
No traveling for free. But you know what?
It's all right. You did all right.
The family had health insurance.
Don't ask any questions, kid. And what about your mom?
My mom worked at a psychiatric hospital when I was a younger kid, and then she started working as a teacher's assistant at a Lutheran school. The school I actually went to from kindergarten to 6th grade, but she didn't work there while I was a student.
Was she a nurse?
No, she wasn't a nurse.
She just worked at the psychiatric hospital?
I don't know exactly what she did either. I should have talked with them more, huh?
Man, maybe a little. There's still time. Are they around?
Yeah, they're around.
Maybe you can pick up some of that stuff you missed. Yeah, if I knew a family member who worked at a psychiatric hospital, I'd be asking a lot of questions.
She did tell some stories about how patients kind of... One of them, they might have spit in her face or done crazy stuff. Yeah, it wasn't that fun.
I can't imagine that fucking working at that. And you got brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
How many?
Brother and sister.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do they do?
My brother works in human resources at Microsoft.
Oh, so that's fairly specific.
Yeah, that's really specific.
You kind of know what he does.
And my sister, she used to be a teacher. Yeah. She was a teacher in New York. She lived in New York for a bit. And then... Now she's not a teacher anymore. She's trying to set up a nonprofit for young black kids, young black men, programs like that. That's what she's working on now.
Well, that's a noble undertaking.
Yeah, it's very noble.
Someone's got to do something good.
I might do some stuff like that when I'm mature.
Yeah, when you got a lot of money,
maybe
give a little something back.
Yeah, but you could. I was thinking because I was at I went to the BET Awards yesterday.
Yeah.
And Steve Harvey got the humanitarian award.
Of course he did. He's been lobbying for that for years.
And so he, does all these things. And I was like, I need to do something like that and be nice or give something back. And then I'm like, I can't do it now because I don't have much. But you can give your time or give stuff. But
so what did you come up with? Did you come up with any plans?
I didn't come up with any plans. Not yet. I'll help kids learn stand-up comedy. No, that's horrible.
That might help.
No.
So the BET Awards, what the hell is that like?
It was an interesting show.
Did you win one?
No, I didn't. I'm not nominated.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were black. I apologize.
I am black, man. But you know what? I have 95% of the people that buy tickets to my shows are white.
Uh-huh.
I'm just starting to have black people come to my show. I have to do a reverse crossover.
What do you now see? It's an interesting topic that I didn't want to necessarily bring up.
Yeah.
Because I got recently I was talking to Dwayne Perkins and I got an email about Dwayne Perkins and then the email sort of like, why do you got to make it about skin color? Why can't you just talk about the riffs? I'm like, I think he was talking about it. He was talking about being black in my neighborhood. Like there's this idea that we're not supposed to acknowledge yet it defines a lot of who people are sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an interesting thing about your audience, as you're saying, is that isn't necessarily what defines you.
No. I mean, I just talk about whatever.
Yeah.
It's some race stuff, but for the most part, I just talk about what I want to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
But and that's a unique thing. Do you think that in a sense that separates you from a lot of black comics?
I don't
Or you
know.
don't think about it?
I don't think. I just do what I do and
Right.
hope that people laugh and want to tell their friends about it and see it again. I don't.
Why
really
do you think so
about
many
it.
white people come as opposed
Well,
to black
for
people?
one, I perform in front of more white audiences.
Just in general?
Yeah, in general. I in Chicago, I performed in more because after I lost, like the city took my car because I had a bunch of parking tickets.
Sure. Did they put a boot on it?
They put a boot on.
Oh, that's the worst morning,
Yeah,
man.
that's
You
embarrassing.
wake up, that morning's a shitty morning.
Yeah, and everybody on your block sees that
Yeah.
it's a boot on your
It's
car.
like a scarlet A. Like your car just fucked someone's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so after I lost my car, it was easier to get to the white rooms in Chicago than the black rooms, because the black rooms were on the south side, and you would have to. The public transportation is tough, but for the north side, it was easier to just take 2 buses to get to an open mic.
So it really is about this changed the trajectory of your audience.
Maybe early on, I was doing all of them at the time. Like I would just perform. I tried to perform wherever I could, but I think early on that. But even without that, I think that when I first started, white crowds responded more. They responded better to what I was doing.
Why do you think that is? I mean, I don't like. This is a whole world of like people ask me why I don't have black people on or why I don't have more black people on. Is that it's a different world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different world of comedy. I mean, I don't even know how to get in touch with some dudes.
Yeah.
And in terms of playing black rooms, I might have played one in New York, and I had my experience, but I don't know what your experience is. What's the difference?
I don't know. Well, this is a story. I remember one time I did this room when I first started, and it was a black room, and I bombed. And in the bathroom, there was this other comic.
Yeah.
And he said, "You got good material, man, but you got to yell at these motherfuckers." That was his only advice. Just yell at these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah. And did you try that?
No, I didn't try that. I didn't.
You didn't experimenting with yelling at them?
Nah.
Nah.
It is, and I've gotten weird intros at black clubs.
Yeah.
Where the host is trying to be helpful, but it's kind of patronizing, or it's just weird for me and the audience, where they say, "Okay, all right, everybody, this next guy is a guy you got to listen to him. He got some smart stuff. You got to listen to him. This guy's good, man.
Yeah.
All right, Hannibal Buress."
All right. So what
But it's like, I don't think I'm doing this crazy high-minded comedy. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's next level. Whereas but that's how I got intro. You got to listen to this guy. You know what I'm saying? He's saying some stuff. So just be quiet and listen to him.
Well, I think that's interesting about expectation.
Yeah.
I think that what that speaks to more than anything else is that even in white clubs or certain clubs you go to, when they start doing the bells and whistles or bringing you up to music, or it's like, come on everybody, give it up, let's give yourselves. If I have a host that's sitting there like, give yourselves a round of applause, shut up, shut up, let the fucking thing evolve at its own pace.
Yeah.
I think certain environments have a certain pitch that they operate at, so they're just trying to like say, this is different, we're going to change speed a little bit, but it makes you feel like you're like, I don't know how to.
Like I'm the special kid at the comedy.
But I imagine, that given your pace, you've had to wait a bit for people to come around.
That's if a crowd doesn't know me, I could feel it where it might be a few minutes in, and then they kind of jump on board.
Right. The guys like you, people have got to they've got to come to you. You're not going to change up to go reach out to them and then drop back into your pace.
Yeah. But I've learned just from performing a bunch how to be able to speed it up and kind of attack a crowd a little bit and slow down. So that's happened with time, just learning with different gigs. Like I approach an outdoor gig at a festival different than I approach performing at UCB. Because outdoors you got to speed up your pace, and the laughs aren't going to.
Right. You find that? But in a theater gig, you sort of got to slow down.
A theater gig, you slow down and let the laughs hit a little bit. Yeah. Walk around a little more. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just small things. I got to figure a theater is great for you. Theater is fun, dude. I do a few I open for Aziz Ansari a lot, and he does theaters, and so those are fun, dude. Yeah. That's easy work. It's 20 minutes. They already comedy fans. Right, and it's only 12 minutes of your material. Yeah. A 20-minute set in a theater. And then, that's a bunch of new fans. And then when I go back to those cities as a headliner, my shows do kind of well. So that's a lot of fun with theater.
Who were some of the dudes you started out with in Chicago?
Kumail was
okay.
Pete Holmes, T.J. Miller, Nick Vatterott. Those.
So your crew's doing all right?
Yeah, doing all right. Yeah, doing all right.
And where are you where are you writing now?
I'm not writing anymore.
What happened there?
I was at 30 Rock, then I didn't.
You started SNL though.
I was at SNL.
I know we talked about a little of this on the live one, but I don't remember where we went with that. So you're in New York. When did you move to New York? How long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for 9 years, since 2002.
Okay.
And then I moved to New York once in 2006 for about 4 months.
What happened?
New York kicked me out.
Yeah, they spit you out?
It spit me out. I came with no money. I came with like $200.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I was just wanted to. The plan was I was going to take New York by storm with my jokes about pigeons.
You figured they'll know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta get the I didn't plan it. I just really, that was my focus. I just wanted to go there and do stand up. I stayed with my sister for a little. I just kind of popped up. I talk about this on stage where I just popped up, and I was really self-absorbed, and I didn't even call her to tell her I was coming.
Yeah.
And she had a daughter at the time. Still has a daughter.
Yeah. She didn't get rid of the daughter.
She didn't get rid of the daughter. She was, she had a husband and daughter.
Yeah.
And I just pop up like, you live in New York? I can stay here too. Now.
Yeah.
I just want to do comedy. I got $200. Let's do this. So I can do open mics. And they kicked me out after 2 weeks.
Really?
And I was pissed, but they were in the right. I was totally wrong.
But isn't that amazing about comics, how selfish we are? It's like, everybody's on board with my dream.
Yeah, you on board, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You're my sister.
Yeah. You got an extra bedroom? Yeah. Let me stay in it.
Well, why'd they kick you out?
They just, they
didn't know when it was going to end?
I don't know. I mean, they would leave in town, actually, and then they just were like, you can't stay here while we're gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how did you take that? Did you?
I took it horribly then, because I was thinking, what am I going to do? I should have just went back home.
Were you pissed off at her?
I was super pissed, dude. I was super pissed. And this is what I tried to do. They had a flight. It was a Friday morning. They had a flight. And so I tried to, I stayed out Thursday night, and just tried to stay out and see, and to pass their flight time.
So you'd still have the key?
Yeah, so I still had a key, and then I came in about 11 or something Friday morning, and she stayed.
She didn't take her trip?
She just got a different flight.
Because she knew you were doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You guys all right now?
Yeah, we're cool now. I realized that I was obnoxious, dude, and I just really
Did you have it out with her, though? Did she tell you?
We never really had it out. I mean, I stayed in New York a few more months, and during that time, I think she lent me money, and I would get mail there. But I was just crashing around. I stayed in hostels. I crashed on the train a bunch. It was a mess.
Wait a minute. You were sleeping on the train?
Yeah, I slept on the train a lot in New York.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about...
You're one of those guys that would get on and just ride back and forth?
Yeah, I ride back and forth. I'm very familiar with the Coney Island stop.
Is that the best one to sleep on?
No, it's just the end of the F train. So that's when you have to switch trains.
So wait a minute. You had a plan. Now, what were your parents doing with all this?
They would send me money and stuff. I'm sure they wanted me to come back, but I was also 23, so you can't make me do anything. So I just wanted to be there, man.
So you're like, fuck it, I'm doing it?
I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it, yeah.
So now, tell me how one ends up sleeping on the train. What's that first choice like? I mean, so you're staying at your sister's, that didn't work out. So then you're staying at a hostel, but then you run out of money.
Yeah, and I stayed at a couple other hostels, and then sometimes I would crash.
Hostels are nasty.
Hostels were, it wasn't that bad. The hostels I stayed at weren't that bad.
Did you ever stay at the Y?
No. But yeah, it was.
So how much is a hostel? 20?
20, 25, 30 a night.
But there's a few cats in the room?
There's a few other people in the room, depending on.
Did you ever get shit stolen?
I didn't have shit for people to steal.
You beat the system. So tell me about
steal my dreams.
It sounds like they almost did. So wait, all right. So then, okay. So you run out of money, and then you're going to decide to sleep on the train.
It wasn't I think I was just. I mean, I might have had an open mic, and then I was like, okay, I guess no, I don't have a place to crash. I guess I just sleep on the train. And
so that was the first time.
I don't remember
exactly
the first time was.
But that's a big transition to make.
Yeah.
You know, from like, I'm going to sleep in a bed to where, to knowing that you got a sister in town and you can go back to Chicago to sleeping on the train many times.
Yeah.
That's a big decision to make.
I guess so.
Where'd you take a shower?
Decision.
Where'd you eat? What the hell did you do? You weren't eating out of garbage or nothing, right?
No, I wasn't eating out of garbage. I mean, I would, I don't know, get a couple $2 for pizza or something.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I had some cash
And the cops, they never bothered you?
I don't remember the cops bothered. The cops never bothered me. But sometimes I would try to crash in the Starbucks. I would buy a coffee and try to crash in the Starbucks in Times Square on 42nd Street. And then they'll come wake me up like, you can't sleep in here. Like, well, your coffee is shitty. Why am I going to sleep? I just had a cup of your coffee.
I can't believe you did that. I've never talked to anybody that has made that big of a commitment.
That made that silly of a choice.
No, I mean, you must not have had any friends in town. I mean, where was Kumail?
Not that many. Was Kumail there? I don't know if Kumail was there yet, but
I feel like we should call Kumail and ask him why the hell he didn't let you sleep at his house.
Kumail wasn't in New York yet.
Okay.
I didn't have any good friends there yet, and in New York, people are super protective of their space, man. Especially if they don't know you. Yeah, it's not much space. I mean, I had a couple friends that I would crash with for a few nights, and then I would hook up with some girls just to crash with them and shit.
Nice.
But
so, what was the moment where you realized you had to go home?
It was just. It was 4 months, man.
You really needed sleep, so you took the train to Chicago?
Yes, I took a long train to Chicago. My feet were all weird and shit, man. It was just like exhausted and mentally exhausted. But during that trip, that's when I got New Faces from Montreal. I auditioned for it in New York, and I ended up getting it. Like, I found out.
After you went home?
After I went home, I found out.
Did you go home, like, beaten? I mean, were you like, fuck it?
Yeah, I was pretty. I mean, it was kind of rough.
So then that thing came, and you were like, I'm in the game.
It was. I thought that would make me a working stand-up.
Yeah.
I thought that would take me from not. I just thought I didn't think it would make me a star, but I thought that it would make it so I could just work only doing stand-up.
And did it?
No. I got management.
Right.
And then I got a gig at the Comedy Factory. What was it? Comedy Factory in Holland.
Mm-hmm. In Holland?
Yeah, it was a TV gig.
So you go from sleeping on the train, going back to Chicago, my fucking dream is crumbling. Bang, you got Montreal. You're like, this is it. I'm going to be a working comedian now. Yeah. No, but we got you a TV show in Holland.
Yeah, to perform. So that was in November of 2006.
And so you flew there, who else was on that show?
Morgan Murphy did it with me.
Did you know any of these people before? I mean, once Montreal happened and once that happened, is that when you started to meet the other cats and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I met some people in New York during that first stint, but yeah, Montreal, I started meeting people. And Morgan Murphy, I think, did New Faces when I did it. I'm trying to think who else was on the Holland thing. Butch Bradley was on it.
Yeah.
A couple other. Howard Kramer was out there.
Did you see him here? You guys friends?
I haven't seen him here. I see him sometimes when we do UCB. I'll see him.
Shit, I just remembered I got to email him. All right, so you come back from Holland and things are better.
Things are a little. I mean, I started getting some feature work, I guess, and featuring in the Midwest, but just still working, doing.
And you're still living in Chicago.
Still living in Chicago with my folks.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a hard one, huh?
Yeah, but it wasn't that rough.
Were you in your old room?
Yeah. I was fine with that. It's just a place. It's a place to chill in between open mics.
Yeah. But you're still committed. And at that time, are your parents like, maybe you ought to rethink this? Maybe you ought to go back to school?
No, not really. They never voiced that to me. I think they saw that I really wanted to do it, so they never really said anything discouraging towards comedy.
What was the big shift then that kind of sealed the deal? That made you realize that you're going.
No, you know what? I think after that, I kind of knew, and it was after a few years in. I didn't know what it would be, but I kind of knew that I'd make a living either performing or writing stand-up. I didn't know if I'd be a star or if I'd be huge, but I knew that at the least I would make a living at this a few years in.
Yeah.
So I didn't know when exactly it happened, but I knew I'd make a living.
Who were your guys growing up? I mean, who were the guys that had the most influence on you comedically?
Well, I really didn't get into stand-up until I started doing stand-up. That's when I got into it heavily. So then I bought Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Chris Rock. I bought those DVDs.
Yeah.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Just bought all those DVDs.
just to see.
I would just buy books, all these books about how to do stand up, and
you did.
I bought the Judy Gold book.
Oh, really? She'd be happy to hear that.
The comedy, the comedy Bible.
Yeah.
That's how I learned what an act out was. Because every joke needs to have an attitude.
This is Judy Gold?
This is Judy Gold. And I read that book like, whoa, this is great. Because
did it help you?
I think it helped early on with writing. Yeah. Just you need one little thing just to...
Because, like, to me, you just seem like a guy that kind of organically came into his own shit and just kind of did his own thing. But you were actually worried about it? Because I never read any books.
Yeah, I read a lot of books and just would look online for anything.
Did anything help you that you can remember tangibly saying, like, oh, okay, this is the fucking key here?
I don't remember anything specific, but I think in the time, like then, 8 years ago, 7 years, I think some of it did help me, man. Yeah. Sometimes I don't do it as much anymore, but I would freeform write sometimes, and I think just writing. Yeah. In general.
You don't freeform write anymore?
Nah, just where you just write anything and just see what.
Keep going.
I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I should start. I don't write as much as I'd like to.
What's your process on joke writing?
Now it's kind of I'll see something happen and I'll try it out on stage and try to figure it out. Especially if I have a club week, then I can kind of hammer it together over a few shows. Or I do still write some stuff while I type it in the computer and then try to remember it and try it out. But I don't write as much. I think most comedians don't think they write as much as they should.
But I don't write jokes. I write ideas and then I end up talking things through. I talk a lot of things through on the podcast, and then they get to my head, and then I just got to see how it unfolds on stage. Yeah, and then find new shit in it. Yeah. I always find new shit in it.
Yeah, it's easy to, you just keep doing
it. That's the best part about it.
And then, you write something and you get away from, you might look back at something in a year and you got a new perspective.
There it is.
Kind of bring it out again.
Get that thing back up on the lift. Yeah. Fix that thing. So how did the SNL thing come about?
SNL happened because I did a set on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. They hit me up the day before somebody got sick. And then, and they invited me to perform. I came in the next day and did it, and I was just doing it. I was just hoping that'll help my club gigs or whatever.
You just did a stand-up set.
Did a stand-up set. Yeah. And then they called me in to meet a couple weeks later, and at the end of the meeting, offered me a job.
You met with Lauren?
I met with Seth Meyers and Steve Higgins.
You didn't meet with Lauren?
No.
I guess you don't have to meet with Lauren if you're not going to be on camera.
I think most people do meet with Lauren a little bit, but I don't know if this was a different situation. I'm sure he had approval, but I think most of the writers do.
You were a special case?
I don't know what
was it. So you didn't have to deal with any of that weirdness? That sounds like the easiest SNL meeting I've ever fucking heard in my life.
They were pretty chill, man. I didn't even know, but I didn't even know that they were offering me a job. I thought it was a general meeting at first, and I didn't want to do it. Yeah. Because general meetings are weird.
Yeah, because you're just sort of like, okay, great.
Yeah, this is my story. They always ask you that. What's your story? How'd you start in stand-up? Yeah. They just offered me the gig at the end, man.
That's fucking nice. Yeah. And you worked there for a while, and then you...
Worked there for a season.
And then how'd you get pulled up to 30 Rock?
To 30 Rock? Somebody recommended me to meet with them. And then I sent over some of my sketches that didn't make it to SNL. Yeah. And I met with Tina and Robert Carlock, and then they offered me a job a couple weeks later.
How was Tina? Was she nice?
Tina was nice, yeah.
How long did you work there?
Just a season, this past season.
And why'd you stop?
Just because I think I just wanted to do more stand-up. I want to do more stand-up and try to figure my own thing out.
Yeah? How's that going?
It's going all right. I mean, it's only been a couple months. I've been just traveling a bunch.
That's pretty interesting, that because a lot of dudes, they get the writing gig. It's easy to get stuck in that.
Also, I'm not cocky enough to think that they would have 100% had me back.
Yeah, but I mean, you pulled out, but that wasn't the reason you left.
Yeah. That was the reason.
Some dudes, like, if you get a writing gig, you can just keep that going. It's still living.
Yeah, it's
nice.
But
it doesn't sound like you know what to do with money anyways. The last time I saw you, you didn't even have a bed, I think.
I got a bed now, man. That was, I got everything together with my place. I had a subletter for a little bit, because I'm traveling a bunch.
Am I wrong? Am I making something up? The last time in New York, I think I saw you and you were like, you had a girl that maybe helped you get a bed or something? No?
Yeah, so if you say that I don't have it, that's actually being extremely frugal then.
Well, no, I understand, but I mean, you would think you'd buy it. But I'm just saying that there's some dudes, even if they have money, they might be sleeping on the train again. Could be one of those guys. Be rumored to be rich and sleeping on the train.
Hey, no, the place is together. My apartment is together, and it's doing well. I got a TV, a couch, internet, wireless internet.
Well, that's right. I sent you something. Did that thing ever work out? That game, the cards?
The video?
Yeah.
The game fly, I never ended up using
you didn't?
But I did appreciate that you sent it pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's tough mailing stuff, man.
Yeah, you got to go to a post office.
You got to write on the envelope.
So now when you go out, because I see that you're doing pretty big tours, where do most of the people coming? Are you selling out?
I'm selling out when I do music venues. Like when I do it one night, I sold out Philly, like 125, 150. Boston, a couple hundred. Vancouver, like 300.
Where are most of those people seeing you?
I don't know if it's through the net or they see me open for Aziz or if they through 30 Rock. I think it's a mixture of a lot of stuff online.
Yeah.
And I think, like online press maybe. I don't know.
But they're coming.
People are starting to come.
And Dima made you a nice poster.
Dima made a beautiful poster. He's really good, man.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does all my posters.
Yeah, he's really good.
And so what happened? Now let's talk about that Indiana thing. That's kind of interesting.
It was just...
you said several people walked out on you.
Several people did walk out. Just at the end, like, I don't know if I was going long, but people just started bouncing.
Were you doing well?
Some of the shows were going well. Some of them were just so-so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I'm starting to learn as a headline just how to power through.
Yeah.
Because the show you can have a set where you're killing it for 20 minutes and then all of a sudden,
boom,
they just turn off.
Yeah.
And you just got to
ride it out.
Ride it out. Finish that time.
See if you can hook them back in.
See, I try to, turn it up a little bit. Sometimes you just got to coast on that.
On that first 20?
Coast on their apathy.
It's not a great feeling.
It's not, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
Do you ever? I turn on them a little bit. I don't turn on them, but I was just in Canada, and I had a couple moments where they were just chaos. It was just chaos, and there was no way I was gonna let them just chatter and fucking. Because sometimes when they get quiet or they lose their train of thought, they start talking. Yeah. Do you ever? I mean, how do you handle it?
I mean, if a table starts talking, I'll say, "What are y'all talking about?" Because I can hear you. So I try to get in it, and just try to, re-engage the audience. Because that's what one thing was happening there. Where I don't know if it was because the service were talking to people or getting orders, but it's a mixture of that and people talking in their own things. And so there was shows where the crowd never felt like one group, and it felt like work. Sometimes it just feels like you just doing your thing, and then sometimes it's like, damn, this is work. I feel like I'm on comedy punishment right now. Like people say, hey, you've been having too much fun, dude. Indianapolis for you.
It's horrible, and it just feels like babysitting, and you're not doing anything that different. Yeah. But they just can't fucking pay attention.
It's
damn it. Yeah, I'm getting angry for you. So now let's talk about this. All right, so you're at the BET Awards. Yeah. Now, have you done any black rooms lately?
I did Mo Better Mondays last time I was in LA.
We're over at the Improv.
At the Improv, yeah.
And what is the response?
The response was okay. It wasn't like it went all right. Like now, I think early on when I would do black rooms, I didn't have any chops either, so I wasn't confident, but now, even if it's not going that well, I can kind of act like I'm not. I can do my set like I'm doing great.
But is there a difference between a black audience and a white audience?
There's a difference, but I can't. It's not something I can really verbalize. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, sometimes like with a black crowd, there's a lot of value put to just being a really good performer.
You mean animated
and having energy. There's a lot of values like they want you to fucking. But sometimes I mean, not to say that
they paid their money.
Like
put on a show,
performing and just kind of hitting hard and just really, they're kind of notorious for being tougher crowds.
Yeah, I mean, it was my feeling that you can't really show
not in general you can't show fear on stage, but they're not going to indulge any sort of half-baked shit.
Yeah.
Or you kind of, being insecure or bailing it all.
Yeah. Like, it's none of that. You can maybe get away with talking about one bit bombing, but once that other one, they'll shut down. Or, that'll happen where they'll just shut down.
Yeah.
And you can't do you could do your best stuff, but it'd be like, nah, we didn't like those first two things, so it's over for you.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's done.
There's this club in Chicago, Jokes and Notes.
Yeah.
It's an all-black club, and I worked there. Last time I worked there, it would be 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and I did Friday show, crushed it, and second show Friday, same stuff, bomb.
Really?
Same material.
Like
I don't know,
like a full bomb, like a half-hour bomb?
Well, no, not even a half. They will cut you short. Like,
really?
Yeah, they'll cut you. Like, the host told the DJ to turn. They started turning the music up on me lightly. That's some open mic shit. This is a weekend show where it's a host feature headliner.
And you were featuring?
And I was featuring. And they turned the music up lightly on a 3-act show. They turned up the music on one of the acts. That's crazy.
How far into the set?
That was like, I wasn't at my time yet, but it was going horribly. But
just nothing?
Yeah, it was light laughs. It's just a different,
Do you find now when you deal with, because I know there's a black comic community, so as much as there is a comic community in any cliquish way, do you find that they know who you are?
I think they're starting to know who I am. Like they know who I am because of the writing stuff. They heard of me and know about me a little bit.
And what's the reaction?
People seem cool. The boys I met, and like back home in Chicago, guys are pretty cool. And
Because I think that there's the one thing I noticed that there's definitely a more, and I'm trying not to get myself into any sort of generalization here, but it seems that with black comics and also with black performance that there's a much more conscious competitiveness.
Yeah.
That even when I watched that Shaquille O'Neal thing with D-Ray and Kevin and who else was on there? Ari Spears.
Mm-hmm.
That backstage there was just sort of like, you're going, I'm gonna beat you. You're not. I'm gonna win here.
Yeah.
And did you feel any of that? Because I actually wish there was more of that outwardly in the white comedy community, because we just sit and fester about it and pretend like we're not competing with each other.
Right.
Whereas that just seems that in the black community, I think it comes from hip hop too.
Yeah.
That there was just this idea that you're going to top the other guy.
Yeah. That's how I feel when I go on a show. I want to be the best on the show. I think everybody does. But you're right. It's not as
there's no open sort of communication about it. We're all just being polite because we're all so fucking different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, he does what he does, and I do what I do, so there's no real way to judge us as the same thing.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Did I just say that? I'm just setting myself up for trouble. Because in my own mind, I do that thing where it's sort of like, some of these jokes aren't going to like totally kill because that's not what I do.
Yeah, sometimes you ever have a guy, like you doing a free show or some small show, and some guy's lighting it up before you. And you're like, God damn it, I gotta work now.
Yeah. That is the worst. Yeah, that is the worst.
I gotta work at this free. I gotta really work to get the audience now because this dude just lit it up.
Oh yeah, when you got a middle that's gonna hand you your ass, because that's part of the payback, man.
Yeah, that's exciting though to have that, because that keeps you sharp and you want to really hit it.
Yeah, but I think that's too loud up there. There's a moment there though when you because I've done that as a middle, and I know the feeling. But there's sometimes, you ever had that moment where you're like, oh, he's gonna win this one. That's, as a headliner, that's just where there was, oh god, you just know that you're gonna do your shit. But that was the set of the night.
They're gonna say you should have been there.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened. When I was featuring, you should have been the guy.
Yeah.
So now I know they say that to my
it's gonna come back at you. It's the worst.
But you wish you could explain to them that the feature, that's the sweet spot on the show, and it's an easy spot, and they don't have check drops. And
you don't want to be saying that as a headliner.
You don't want to say that, but like, okay, given how tough it is, like with these extra details,
No.
Now what do you think?
Yeah, right. Right. Well, he had a good set, but he only had to do 25. Now I'm up there doing the full 50, and I got a check drop.
You can't say that shit.
No, it hasn't happened in a while, but some of it happens inside of you.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, even if they get bigger laughs, that, you're still you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't know. Now I'm rationalizing, because there's one spot this weekend that... No, let's go. So what do you really want to do that you haven't done?
I just want to put out an hour special.
Yeah.
And just keep touring. I want to hopefully do theaters in 2 or 3 years, start doing theaters.
So what's the model for you, like Louis? Louis
Aziz, yeah, that's it right now. Just because those guys are really the ones out there really working and turning over material and selling,
Yeah. And what do you auditioning for TV or what?
I have I did some audition for this one pilot, and they flew me out to test for it. And I came out and tested with the cast, but I didn't get it. But I've been auditioning for some stuff, and I think I'm gonna come to LA next year or early next year for pilot season for a month or 2.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Go run around.
Hopefully develop my own thing and figure out a show idea. And
pitch
that's that around.
Right. And what's it? You've done Letterman?
I've done Letterman, yeah.
And you did Conan?
No, haven't done Conan.
You're doing Kimmel?
Doing Kimmel.
And you done Fallon?
Done Fallon, Lopez, Ferguson.
Oh, you did Lopez?
Yeah.
How was that?
Lopez was fun.
Yeah.
Doing well, yeah. That was good.
It's a big room.
It is a really big room, and I think it's the closest to an actual live comedy performance than the other late nights. It's because the crowd is close to you.
Yeah.
So it's like a big club, but they're right there, and it's sort of like you playing.
Oh, it doesn't feel like a studio.
Yeah, you playing the crowd. So,
how'd you like that Ferguson thing? There's 12 people there. Was he even around when you did it?
He said good, have a good set,
and then left. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, hey man, it's 5 minutes, have a seat.
Did you say it?
No, I didn't say that. That was my first time on TV. So
it's a hot audience.
Yeah, it went well. It was fun.
They're all jacked up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That was the weirdest experience I ever had.
Like, why won't he stay there?
I don't know what the deal is. I think he doesn't. Because it's not. I think what the reason is, honestly, I mean, there's no reason why he can't just watch with the audience or sit there. And
everybody else does.
Right, but they use it like radio. See, like he can't outro you because they just want to have these comics, sets to drop in wherever the hell they want.
Yeah.
So you don't know what he's going to be wearing.
Uh-huh.
Like they don't. Sometimes they'll tape you and they don't have a plan where it's going to go. They just know that like, well, we got 5 minutes here. Let's use that comic set.
They did mine day of though.
Well, that's bullshit. See, that I don't. You got mistreated over there. I would think I would.
It's like, why don't you? It's 5 minutes, Craig. Just hang out for a little bit.
It was a little weird. So
it is weird because I'm just waving on the fade out like, thank you everybody.
Yeah, I had that
Everybody
moment.
else comes over and shake your hand.
Right.
Thank you for being on my show.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that when I did it. That you're sort of like, thank you, and then you just stand there.
Yeah.
And the camera just pulls out.
Yeah.
It went well though.
Yeah.
How'd yours go?
I think it went well. It was my first time. I mean, I look at it now like, I was kind of stiff and uncomfortable, but.
And when you doing Kimmel tomorrow?
Doing Kimmel tomorrow.
And you got a set?
I have a set, yeah.
Did you keep doing different sets?
Yeah, for the late nights, yeah.
You haven't repeated anything?
No, not on late nights. I've done stuff on Comedy Central that I've done.
The long set.
On late nights.
Yeah.
But
that's all right.
None of the late nights.
On the half hour. Did you do an hour?
No, I haven't done a half hour, but just from like John Oliver's show. And,
yeah. You haven't done a half hour yet?
Nah.
Are they going to give you one? Are they doing them still?
No, I didn't want. I passed.
Just waiting?
I just decided to wait and see if they'll give me an hour, just because that'll just give me time to perform more and get better.
You got a plan, man. I see the plan in place. You're going to be the hour guy, the stand-up man.
I just rather wait and just hit the road more. And
have you been offered other writing jobs?
I have, yeah, but no, I didn't take it.
Oh, dude, it's good for you.
I took one short job, just a quick thing, like kind of just sending stuff in. But no, I haven't taken any other staff jobs.
I mean, I respect it. I mean, it's hard to, on some level, it's hard to turn down, union wage writing work.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
To pursue this crazy dream.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to sleep on any more trains.
Nah, no
Not
more.
because you have to.
Nah. No more. Yeah, it'll be just straight up.
Yeah. Because you feel like
fun. I wanted to sleep on the train.
Now your parents are a little more comfortable with everything?
They're comfortable, man.
Yeah?
Yeah,
they're proud of you?
Yeah, I got them a couple gifts and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like what?
Got them, last year I got a flat screen.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then for Christmas I got them one of those Keurig coffee makers.
Oh, yeah?
The ones that want the one cup.
Oh, yeah,
single
yeah,
cup
yeah.
You put it in.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So they're like, he's doing all right.
He's doing all right. Got a coffee maker. But it's nice to be able to get them stuff after, you know.
Yeah. After letting you live in there until you're 30 or when?
How long was it? It was to 25. How old was I? Yeah, I left in 08, so yeah, 25.
And did you buy your sister a present?
I didn't. I bought my sister stuff before. I helped with her the nonprofit she's starting out. I helped with that.
What does that mean? You go talk to the kids?
No, I just gave some money.
When are you going to go talk to the kids, Hannibal?
They haven't. It's still in the early stages, so they're
no
any kids.
yet?
So she's setting up the thing where she could ask for grants and just getting all of that.
All right.
The early process.
But you're going to talk to the kids.
I guess I talk to the kids. I just say some bullshit.
Just tell them that
you kids, you can do anything you want to do. You just gotta focus and follow your passions, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to sleep on a train if you have to.
Don't be able to. Does anybody else sleep on trains besides performers? Like unnecessarily? There's people like, while I was working on my MBA, I slept on the train. I was interning at Goldman Sachs. And I slept on the train, on the F train.
There's nowhere else for me to go. Just holding on to my briefcase.
I would wash my dress shirts in the McDonald's sink.
It was tough times. All right, Hannibal. Good talking to you, man.
Good talking with you too, man.
That's our show. Hannibal Buress. What else is going on? He's going to be at the Atlanta Punchline in Atlanta, 21st and 22nd. That's Friday and Saturday. I'm going to be at the Punchline in San Francisco, November 2nd through 5th, and at the Neptune Theater in Seattle, November 25th. I hope you go to WTFpod.com and kick in some shekels. Buy some new merch. We got some new Christmas merch coming. We got buttons coming. We got tote bags coming. We got the tote bag, button, sticker, CD, gift pack combo coming. I ain't pitching too hard, but, this is how I earn a living now. This is my